predicted 11 going into the North London derby on Sunday. Frank has done his team news, injury news. What have we got, Sim?
And it's very positive. There's rumours that Mawani, back in training wearing a mask. Frank confirmed he's fit and available. Sarr pulled up in international duty for Senegal at the Emirates, no less. He is fit and available. Great news. Bergval recovered from his concussion. He is fit and available. Archie Gray, Kota Takai, Ben Davis, all trained ahead of the derby as well. Radu Dragoshin played 45 minutes in a friendly over the international break. He is very close to being available, but not quite for this weekend. Solanke making positive steps, as he always is, but not available for this weekend. Maddison, Kulusevski and Bissouma also continue to be out. But some really great news on the injury front for Tottenham, and all of a sudden the bench is going to look a lot healthier. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we went into the international break with 13 players injured. We leave it with 5 players injured, so that is definitely a positive step. We need this kind of strength in depth and squad ability moving forward, and no less in the North London derby this weekend. So let's get into our predicted lineup.
So I think the most important question is, what formation are we playing?
Well, yeah, of course, that's a very important question, because we've obviously been playing 4-3-3. In the PSG game, we went 3-5-2. I personally want to see that. I think Spurs need to play 3-5-2, and I've got a feeling Frank has got a trick up his sleeve, and I think he's going to go for it, you know. I really believe he's going to go for it.
If we say we think he's going to go 3 at the back,
yeah,
what we have seen is 3-5-2. Is there any chance he goes 3-4-3?
There is a chance, but I think he's going to go 3-5-2.
Yeah. I think, with centre-backs now getting ready, I think he can start to use this 3 at the back. So, yeah, I think he's going to do it.
You think 3-5-2 or 3-4-3?
I think 3-5-2. I think 3-5-2 makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. So 3-5-2 in goal is obviously Guillermo Vicario, playing very well. Got a start even for Italy during the international break, so he'll be definitely ready, raring and ready to get into this game.
Great for him to get an international cap under his belt. Do you believe the rumours that Tottenham are looking at a replacement? Just in general,
no.
Just in terms of is that a position they eye as one that needs to be upgraded?
I don't think it's one of the urgent issues, and I don't think Frank sees it as one of the urgent issues. And I think once we fix all the other areas in the squad that we need to fix, maybe they'll look at that. But as of now, no, I don't think it is.
I agree. I think he's part of the leadership group. He's an important player, and I think Frank really rates him. And I think he's had a mixed season so far, but he's in good form.
All right,
really
so
good form.
100%. So Vicario in goal. Now we look at the back 3. In terms of the right-hand side, well, let's start with the left-hand side. We know Mickey van der Ven.
Yeah, he's obviously going to be there. He's obviously such an important player for us. And in this game, yeah, even more so. We know Arsenal got very physical front line, depending if Gyökeres or whether Gyökeres or Moreno play. But he, I think in this position, the left side, if we are saying back 3, just like helping out a doggy with Saka is going to be crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we know the other 2 centre-backs, just about their positioning. Will it be Romero in the middle, Romero on the right, or Danso in the middle, Danso on the right? I've got a feeling it'll be Danso in the middle and Romero on the right.
I'm trying to remember when we played the
PSG.
Yeah, was it who was on the middle, who was on the right?
Let's have a look. I think it was Danso in the middle.
Yeah, I think you're right. The only thing I would say is, though, is it's not a massive difference, but if Danso is on the right, then it's a lot easier for him. It's a lot easier for the team if he plays on the right, that he can get forward for long throws without being too much out of position. But I guess it's not that much of a difference anyway. With that, I also think if Romero's on the right, he's got more space and better passing angles than being in the centre. I also think Romero's better.
SofaScore says it was Romero in the middle.
Yeah, so he was in the middle of that one. And Danso on the right. I would say, I guess you could say, because keeping Romero and Van der Ven close as well is also quite important. I'm trying to think from a passing wise, what's better for him, being directly down the middle, so maybe he has more options to go left and right.
Yeah, it was definitely Danso on the right. judging by the heat maps.
So then he'll probably, I think
he'll keep it the same.
The
So
same.
go Romero in the middle, Danso on the right.
I think it kind of makes sense as well, because it means when he's taking those long throws, if it does go back, he's on the right hand side, so it's not as far to go back in position as he is in the centre.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Okay. So Romero, Danso and Van der Ven as our back three. Now we move on to the wing backs. So I think the one that is for certain, I think it has to be Destiny Udogie at left wing back. Such a vital player for us.
I agree. And it's so important in terms of stretching Arsenal in this game, getting down that left-hand side, getting to the byline. It's going to be a big job. Obviously, Timber and Saka both such hard workers down that side, so he's not going to have it easy. But if we're going to get forward, I think he's the guy you're thinking maybe can actually exploit them.
Yeah, absolutely. He just opens it up for us so much in terms of actually being able to attack down that left-hand side. So I think he's vital to go in. On the right-hand side, I think it's more of a discussion between Pedro Porro and Jed Spence. I would personally like to see Jed Spence play, but I got a feeling he will go with Pedro Porro.
I think if you've got the extra protection of Danso there, I think it makes more sense to play Porro, because you need that set piece guy to take the corners and stuff, and someone who can go long as well directly into Richarlison and Kudus.
Kudus has done a fairly good job at taking the set pieces, though.
But we like in-swingers, don't we? So who's going to take it off the other side?
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. I mean, unless we're saying Xavi plays, but we're not saying that. Not yet, anyway. So I think you need Porro, and I think you need Porro's passing ability if you're going to play three at the back. And I think you can get away with it more. If you're saying four at the back, I would say it makes more sense to play Spence.
More Spence.
Because he's going to have more ground to cover, and he's going to be a bit more exposed. So you might need Spence there. But I think we're free at the back. I think makes
But also, like, attacking on the transition, it could work really valuably with Spence because of his speed.
That's also true.
So I think, like, having two guys, pure physical monsters on either side of Udogie and Spence, I think could be so valuable to us in this game.
But I agree with that. But the reason I'm saying Porro is because with the three, I think we're going to go with.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I completely get what you're saying, and it's definitely true. You know, Pedro Porro is the best passer we got, and I think both of them have their pros. I just personally, from where I think the game's going to pan out, with Arsenal penning us in a little bit and Spurs having to work on those transitions, I think Spence could be a bit more valuable in those situations. But look,
Also,
it doesn't really matter, because I think he's going to go with Pedro.
But also on the left-hand side, who are we really that worried about? Unless maybe we think Eze might play.
I don't know who's fit, because I think Martinelli's going into it with a question mark. Trossard's going to probably play on the left.
I know Porro did have a difficult time with Trossard last time. But
Yeah.
Is it not a...
Trossard's on really good form this season.
Is he not a player we think that Porro can handle?
Well, not judging by the last game, he couldn't. I
Okay,
mean,
but
Trossard has been very, very good this season. I wouldn't underestimate him.
Yeah, but it's not about... He's a very tricky player. He's not a player who's going to outpace you. So it's not like pace is the name of the game with him. You know what I mean?
No, but we all know, regardless of pace, that Jed Spence is just a better defender than Pedro Porro.
Yeah.
We know that. Mm-hmm. So Trossard, I'm more comfortable with Spence dealing with him than I am with Pedro Porro.
Yeah, but I'm not uncomfortable with Pedro.
No, look, I'm not uncomfortable with Pedro playing this game whatsoever. It's just a personal preference of mine that I prefer to see Spence play. But like I said, I think Pedro Porro is going to play.
All right, we're going with Porro. So midfield three now.
Yeah.
So
Paolini 100%.
Yeah, he's going to be there. We know that. Now, the thing is, beginning of the season, we played a free against PSG and against City of Paolini, Bentancur and Sarr.
Yeah.
Very physical.
Yeah.
Very robust. It was actually, Sarr was kind of playing in a kind of hybrid 10 role where he was getting closer to...
I think it's going to be the same.
The thing is, Bergvall is there, available, and he was in quite good form before.
Yeah.
And he adds that little bit of technical ability, plus he's quite good physically. Obviously, there is Xavi, who's, look, he's not been in the greatest form, but, good performance against Copenhagen, wasn't so good against United. Scored on international break as well. I guess those are the only two guys, maybe. But, Sarr fit and available. Is he 100% though? Is he fit enough to start? He does say fit and available, so you've got to assume yes.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the exact same three. I think it's going to be Paolini, Bentancur, Sarr.
just basically make it as difficult as possible.
100%, yeah. Because they've got very strong players in midfield, man. Zubamendi and Rice are two of their best players.
Yeah.
And we're going to need the physicality in the midfield to match them up and try and win that midfield battle, as however hard it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be those three.
Yeah, and I think we know it can work. We've seen it, especially against very good opposition as well. So might not be pretty, but it might be just what
effective. Yeah. All right, so that's the midfield. Let's go up front. Is Moani going to start? That's a big question.
So I think for sure, if we are doing this, I think Kudus
100%. Yeah.
Up front. And I remember there's a game that sticks out of my mind that Kudus could do. I remember a few years ago, Wolves were playing at the Etihad away at sea, and they just stuck a Adama Traore up front, and he got a brace, and they won the game. Like, just kept it tight, just gave it to Adama because they know, because they're going to commit a lot of risk and maybe leave some players at the back. They know Adama has that ability against anyone to beat him, and I think that's how we got to use Kudus. Just any time there's any space, go long to him and just get him to hold the ball, get him to roll his man and just run into the space as much as possible. And he did that a couple of times against PSG in the Super Cup. And with Gabriel out, I'm not saying Hincapié, Mosquera and Muggs, but he probably would fancy himself against them more than against Gabriel in a one-on-one situation.
I agree, but in terms of, look, it goes down physicality, but they're still very physical players. Hincapié and Mosquera, they're, big, strong men.
But so is Kudus.
Yeah, so is Kudus. So I'm saying, yeah, I'm more comfortable seeing him go up against them, but I just want to see him use that physicality the way he used it against PSG. Go at those defenders, make yourself so difficult. As soon as those defenders are on the ball, I want to see Kudus charging at them. Just charge at them and just make them panic. Try your best to make them panic anyway.
Just go direct and early to him, to Kudus. That could be a real source of joy, I think.
I agree. So it's just who goes up front alongside Kudus. So you've got the likes of Moani, you've got Richarlison, you've got even Brennan Johnson that could play in that position as well. I think the least person I want to see there is Richarlison, in my opinion. The one I want to see there the most is Moani. And if Moani's not fit, I'd like to see Brennan Johnson there.
I don't think we play Brennan up front in this game. We might do. I'll just be surprised if we do, because then you've got no natural 9. You're playing him and Johnson together. I don't know if that's you.
But there's an argument to say Johnson is the best finisher there.
He is, but is he? He also needs to be able to kind of be a bit more physically kind of dueling with the centre back a bit more. And I don't know.
Tell
as well. Yes,
Tell
as well. Start.
I wouldn't mind seeing Tell alongside Kudus.
Obviously, Kudus, you would think, will do the majority of the dueling anyway.
Yeah.
But you saw early on in the season how important Richarlison was at doing that stuff, and I just don't know if Johnson is going to be capable of that, and that's going to be so important. I think Moani definitely is, but again, he's obviously factory his joy. He's playing with a mask. Is he ready to start? Is it going to be a case of let's bring him on, see how he goes, and then he's ready to start the next game? I don't know. Obviously, physically he should be fit, but whether mentally that factory jaw is going to be playing on his mind in this game or not. I've got a feeling he probably goes with Rishi, to be honest.
Rishi.
Because he knows he's played that role in a 2. If he can get that level in this game that we saw earlier in the season, that would be perfect, obviously. But we haven't obviously seen it. I've got a feeling he goes Rishi and then Moani off the bench. That's what I think he would do.
I think Moani's going to start, man. I said it yesterday when we were speaking about it. I just got a feeling. You know my feelings, they're usually really wrong. But, I think it's going to be Moani. I think, they're trying their best to get him fit and available and to start this game. I really believe that.
Okay. To be fair, it hasn't gone away on internationals. I just got a feeling it's Rishi, but all right, let's go Moani.
Who would you prefer?
I want it to be Moani.
All right, so let's go Moani then.
I want it to be Moani.
All right, so that is our predicted lineup to go into battle in the North London derby on Sunday. We have got Vicario in goal. We got Danso, Romero and Mickey van der Ven as the back 3. We have got Sarr, Palini and Bentancur in the middle 3. Porro right wing back. Destiny left wing back with Kudus and Randall, Kolo Muani up top. This is our prediction. If this is the lineup, what is your scoreline prediction?
I think this is the lineup. I'm going to go for 1-1.
1-1.
I think this would make it very difficult for Arsenal to break us down. the free centre-back coverage. You've got the wing-backs as well, which is going to be making sure they don't double up against us out wide. The only problem I do have is progressing the ball to the forward players and getting them involved as possible. The problem is if these two up front get dominated and they not winning their duels, there's a fear we're getting really penned in, and there's going to be a real struggle to build any sort of attacks. And if you remember those games, especially the PSG game, we didn't do much in open play. We had our moments, but it was mainly them winning the ball, winning a set piece, and then us doing it, right? Creating stuff. So them winning their duels is going to be so important. So I'm slightly worried about that, but I do think it's going to be very difficult for Arsenal to break that down. I really do. I think they're going to get frustrated.
I think with this lineup, the game's going to be won by the odd goal, and I think there'll only be one goal in the game. I'm undecided whether it's going to be for Arsenal or for Spurs, but I do feel like I agree with you that Arsenal find it very difficult to break us down, but I think equally we might find it equally as difficult to break Arsenal down. I feel it's going to be a very pensive game. I think it will be won by the odd goal from a set piece. It's basically who's better on set pieces on the day, and with Gabriel being out, it does diminish their set piece threat. We've got João Palhinha, not as strong as Gabriel, but he's a set-piece threat in his own right. I'm going to go for 1-0 to Spurs.
1-0, clean sheet at the
1-0 to Spurs, yeah.
1-0, wow.
I don't say that confidently, but I say 1-0 to Spurs.
He's got a funny feeling going.
I'm going to say 1-0 to Spurs.
If we were to quickly, if he, because we saying back three because he did against PSG, but then he did go to Etihad and go back four, right?
Yeah.
So if he does go back four, how would you like that to look? If it was like a 4-3-3?
If we were to go 4-3-3, I would go Spence right back, a Doggy left back. I would go Romero, Mickey van der Ven in the middle of the park. I'd go Palhinha, Bentancur, Xavi. I'd go.
Will you go Xavi in a 4-3-3 and not Sarr?
Yeah.
So something like this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd go for. Odegaard on the left, Kudus on the right, Moani up top.
And there's a fear we do that with too open.
Yeah, we'll definitely be too open.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
I think, well, if you add Sarr ahead of and not Xavi.
Helps us.
Or Bergvall, even.
Bergvall. I wouldn't mind seeing Bergvall because I think he's got the bite in the challenge as well.
I think there is a good chance he goes with that as well, because the Etihad was probably a better performance than PSG, to be honest.
It's true. Yeah,
so
it's true.
There is a chance he just does that.
What lineup would you prefer to see?
I think there's less chance we lose if we go for a back three, in my opinion. But I think there's also more chance we win if we don't.
Yeah.
It's in a weird way. So it's kind of what mentality he's saying, Frank. He goes into the game, we're not going there not to lose. That's what he said. But doesn't necessarily mean if we play a back three, we're going to go necessarily defensive.
Yeah.
But I feel more comfortable with the back three, personally.
So do I. But
to take risk is also a risk. Not to take risk.
But let us know your thoughts. Would you like to see this team currently on screen or the team that we saw previously with a 3 at the back, a 3-5-2 formation? Me personally, I'd like to see the 3-5-2. If it is 3-5-2, I'm going for 1-0 to Spurs. If it is a 4-3-3, I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal.
Also, if it is 3-5-2, you do have a hell of a lot of players on the bench to cover. You've got Johnson, you have Odegaard, you have Richarlison or Marnie. You've got Tell as well. You've got a lot of attacking players to come on. You can change formations and stuff like that. Yeah. Like if we're losing and you're a back four, you're not really going to go to a back three, are you? Like if you're behind.
Yeah.
So it gives us a bit more like ability to change it. From
a bit more flexibility. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. We need to target them. Well, I say we need to target them, but if Calafiori is out, they clearly see a bit of a difference in Calafiori and Lewis Skelly. So I know Skelly is a good player in his own right, but I think when it comes to Kudus against Skelly, he can buy a lot of fouls against him. A lot of fouls, and he can really. I think that's the place that we can target.
Yeah, the thing is with Skelly is because he's very comfortable in midfield, because I think he's a natural midfielder.
Yeah, he is.
And he's been playing at left back, but he does this inverted role very well, and he cuts inside and goes into the space centrally. Now, is Kudus going to track that? That's what I'm worried about, and Kudus would have to be very disciplined to do that, and I'm worried that if Skelly was to play, he'd get a lot of joy doing that, because I feel like Kudus, it's fine. He's more comfortable if you're just going to run down the line and he's tracking you backwards. He's kind of comfortable doing that. But when you're starting to ask different questions of him, all of a sudden it might become very difficult.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking at this Arsenal teams in terms of where to target, and I mentioned Skelly, but they don't really have a weak point in their team. That's the honest truth about it. So it's going to be a backs against the walls job, that's for sure. And I think nobody is giving Spurs a chance in hell this game. Literally, you ask 10 people say Arsenal are going to win. Just that alone makes me think that something special might happen this weekend, you know. But look, that is our predicted lineup. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. We're going to move